Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call our study session to order. Tonight, we will be going over the council pending list. We have several items that are pending that we have put to a study session, so we're going to see if these are still something we want to have in a study session, or, it's no longer necessary. Does anybody have any suggestions of what they think may be pulled off? It's no longer necessary?
Well, I think we ought to go through them just one at a time.
Okay.
That's what we usually do.
Okay, I have, now this goes back to May 27th of 2014. This is proposal for construction time limitation policy. Corporation Counsel Miyake was to draft, and Chairman at the time, Constant, to contact Corporation Counsel Miyake to get something written up to vote on. Were you able to do that?
Yeah, and I think we passed something, if I remember correctly.
Well, no, I think this was that originally was Councilman Kaczynski, and then I actually took that and modified it a little bit and turned it in. And then we went through and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Mayor, we went through the building director at the time, Mohammed Sob, and he questioned a lot of the things there because of the how the housing market now in Dearborn Heights is starting to change with everybody importing material from overseas, even bricks and moldings and roofs.
Countertops.
And it just takes a long time to ship it. So I don't know how many more houses we're going to build in this city. Just about all the lots are taken up now, unless you buy a house and tear it down. I can ask Councilman Abdullah if he knows that. It's probably not worth our effort to have an ordinance written.
But also remember, Councilman, at the time, and I can't remember, I could have sworn, I can't remember if it was at the time Director Jack McIntyre mentioned that it's not as big of a problem as it used to be, and I think they said there's automatically a charge where there is some sort of a time limit and there's automatically a charge again if it comes up again. I guess he'd be the best person to answer us. He's not here right now, but if that's a major problem right now, I don't see it as a major problem any longer personally.
The building
permits, I see some, I'm sorry, just,
go ahead.
I do see some houses that are taking long, and I sent Jack a couple of emails on them, and he was looking into them, and then when he did look into them, he got back with me. He said, no, they were pretty much, it was a moving process. It looks to somebody driving by that like everything is stopped, but he said there were still permits being pulled, there was still work being done, but just your average person driving by wouldn't notice. I don't think it's as major of a problem. And no, there's not a major surge for new construction right now.
So do we want to just skip over this for now and not address it?
I think we want to take it off.
Take it off.
Okay.
Mohammed Sob told us that the building permits expire, number one. Number two, there was a house on Kinlock across from Joe Persicone that had been under construction for 7-8 years, that house. I think now it's done.
It's done, yeah, that one on the corner there of
right across
Kinlock and Dockstader.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next item. It is also from August 26, 2014. This was ordinance H-14-07. This was amending the city code sections regarding minimum housing standards referred to a study session. This was decided that Building Director Sob should be contacted regarding this matter. Now, this is before I was on council. Does anybody recall what this in regards to?
I do.
Councilman Abdullah.
Something was enacted.
So at that time, what they referenced is having standards, and I know Dearborn proposed something like that fairly recently, having standards as far as the type of houses that you have near other homes. Like, for example, use that as an example, if you have a ranch, you could only go from 1 story to 1.5 story. You can't have a ranch and have right next to it a colonial, and on the other side of it a colonial which way overbear the ranch. It was those types of rules. And to the best of my knowledge, although I'm not a building inspector or director, there already is a lot of rules like that. Now, one of the issues is with putting too much restrictions. It's kind of like a fine line. You can play it both ways. But sometimes you'll get that particular person that wants to build a nice house in the city to decide to just build somewhere else or move somewhere else. The challenge we've got with that, you want some of these bigger homes in the area because they bring in a major tax base. as an example, on Dock Stater, you see quite a bit of very large houses, beautiful houses for that matter, and I get comments all the time, oh my God, I would never build a house like that in Dearborn Heights. I'd rather build in, X city. I get that, but for those that want to live in this city and are willing to live in this city and build, like one that comes to mind costs, I think, $3.5 million or $4 million. Now, I think that's crazy. But that's what that person did. Not a positive note for the city. That's bringing in major taxes to us, which makes the tax burden much less on other residents. I think it's a positive, personally.
Okay, so at
With
this-
constraints, of course.
So on this, we probably need to also get rid of this. It's so old. I mean, this is 5 years down the road almost.
Council Chair?
Councilman
I
West,
do
yeah?
believe that we do abide by codes and code enforcements. I mean, we still have inspections when homes are being sold, and it's bare minimum code, but that's what this is saying, minimum housing standards, and I think we've always done it.
Okay, well, then we can just remove this one too, because it is old.
Madam Chair?
Councilman Constant?
Any houses north of Warren, they have deed restrictions, not building a second floor, and then there was an issue, somebody violated that, but I think that's covered by existing law.
Yeah, it is a deed restriction because I'm in that subdivision. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've got a copy of it. So, all right, well, then I guess this one, we will just get rid of it for now. And the next one is also from November of 2014. This is dumpster placement. And Chairman Constant, you were supposed to contact Corporate Counsel Miyake to check on progress. Do you recall what happened in regards to this?
An ordinance was drafted. There's a restriction regarding how long somebody can have a dumpster, like, for example, in their driveway. And I think that's something we need.
Council Chair.
Councilman Abdullah?
So I comment on that based on the business that I'm in. When we had the recession and the market totally crashed and the housing market came way down, it was very common for a lot of people to purchase homes, depending on the particular part of the city, anywhere between $20,000 to $40,000 to $50,000. These types of homes they're kind of like the CAP program homes. I don't know if they're that bad, but they needed major work. So there's a lot of investors who are bringing in the dumpsters and fixing these houses and then reselling them. Okay. Now with the market adjusting, personally, I rarely see dumpsters in the city when I'm out showing houses, personally, but I don't think it's as big of a problem as it used to be.
Yeah, Madam Chair, and there was a problem with people doing evictions, and they would put everything out in front of the house and would blow all over the neighborhood, but that may be covered by some other ordinances.
Okay, so at this time...
The only thing that concerns me is that dumpsters be left in a street.
Yeah.
The street is not okay.
Dark. You can turn a corner and run into one of those things real easily. So I'm afraid if we just remove this, that it's going to be...
Is there an ordinance?
We can bring it back as something different, not just,
check with...
Council Chair.
We can check.
Well, I mean, that's an excellent point that you made, Councilman. And I don't know the ordinance, but I would hope and pray that they're not allowed to leave them in the streets. A lot of people used to leave them in the streets because they didn't have wheels on them. They didn't want that heavy weight on their driveway with those very thick metal wheels. Now a lot of the dumpsters, if you noticed, have gone to just regular tires that look like car tires. So a lot of them are putting them, when you do see them, you'll see them on the driveways. You don't see them, but I think it shouldn't be allowed to park them on the street, especially with garbage hauling and what have you.
definitely. Councilman Wenzel?
There was an incident over on McKinley Street in South End, and there was a dumpster in the driveway for 9 months.
That's not acceptable.
And I don't know what the ordinance, but I know you can't park them you can't dump them in the street. I know that. I asked, I talked to Jack about that before.
So we've
talking
already
about
got an
parking in the
ordinance
street,
for that?
The dumpsters, you can't leave them in the street.
so
They have
that's
to be
good.
on
So
your
that's
property
covered.
somewhere.
All right, then.
I know we need a time limit. If there is, I don't know if there's a time limit or not, but I had several people complain about it, and they just removed it about a week ago.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, so let's just get rid of this dumpster placement for now, and if there's a need in the future, we can always bring it back. I mean, because it sounds like we already have, we can double check to make sure we
Yeah,
have an
let's double
ordinance
check.
stating it can't be placed in the street, and we don't have the right people here right now to ask. So that's a question we can ask Jack.
Question mark on that.
All right, next item is from February of 2018. This is Cities 457 plans. It was referred to a study session with Plant Moran Financial Advisors.
According to Plant Moran, this body in order to do its fiduciary responsibility, ought to take a look at this. Now, Plan Moran has come up, looked at the, I think there's 3 plans in the city, and they were recommending that we only have one plan because it would save the employees who are in the plans, you get a better deal.
Okay.
But that is something that this group, as a council, would have to authorize. I can't authorize it, but it's a different group from the auditors.
Yes, I remember that.
And now we have an option of 3 different plans?
There has always been 3. One of them had 8 people in it. The other one, I think, had 3. And then the majority is in the third one. Is that right?
So 2 are pretty much 50-50 split, and then the third one is very minimal.
Okay, that's the thing.
Okay.
But they believe that the proper procedure, I mean, I still have the recommendation, we're just waiting for the meeting to be set up, is to go out for bids and then select 1 or 2, but not have 3, and to require a certain rate of return, the ability, because right now, these plans are not in the best benefit of the investor, which is the employee. Some have huge fees for making transfers. To take your money out, you get charged a fee, and they're all different. And most of the employees here are not that sophisticated, no derogatory remark towards them, to really be able to sift through these plans and determine which is the best. And that's where the Plant Moran people would have been able to do it. And then, so it's really for the benefit of the employees, but there is a fiduciary responsibility on this council to make sure the plans are good plans.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I would
So we'll keep
I would
that on.
suggest we keep that one.
Yeah, I would too. Now, the next one is Act 345, millage and legal opinion on Act 345 monies for GG Healthcare.
There already is a legal opinion. I don't know what this one's.
So we don't need this one anymore?
My estimation, no. The legal opinion indicates that for Act 345, healthcare can be included in it, and
Yeah.
the city's been doing it for years.
Should check it before.
Okay, I'm going to keep that on for just a minute because we're going to check with Lisa. She was working on that, and I want to give her the option to speak out on it. She's not here right now.
I think you're mixing 2 different things.
Is it?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
mixing 2 different things. This Act 345 was, there was an opinion on how, for the health care, if you can use Act 345 for health care, and the opinions from just about everybody says that you can use the 345 for health care.
Okay, all right, no problem. We'll
She
get rid
wanted
of
like
that
the
then.
VIBA for the
She
city.
wanted, yeah, for all the rest of the other stuff, okay?
Next one, because I'm going to try and get us through this before 7. Next one is attorney fees. That's kind of,
I don't think
addressed
that
in the
should be
charter.
on there. We
it
discussed that.
shouldn't be,
and I-
because it's in the charter anyways. Okay, next one is Charter Review Committee.
We need this.
We are going to be working on it. I will be bringing something forward, hopefully within the next couple weeks. So I am working on this. Next, we have DHPSA Letter of Understanding.
Can somebody remind me what that is?
That got taken care of,
It's taken care of?
yeah.
Is it?
I don't think
What is
so.
it? No.
I
haven't seen it.
What is
What year was it?
It was 2019.
226.
I think it's pending arbitration.
Let's look what the,
I don't,
got a motion
Never came back.
19-062, so let's check it.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever
Keep it.
So we'll keep that on here then.
Professional.
Okay.
What is that?
Well, there's a motion
It's an
on it, so let's
administrative
check it.
group. I
Yeah, there's a
think.
motion number on it, so let's go back to the motion and review it. Okay, next we have the WVGC Monthly Financial Update Council Request.
That's the Warren Valley Monthly Financial
Golf
Update.
course, yes,
I
Warren
think
Valley
you had a
Golf
deed
Course.
restriction on that, too.
You gotta keep
And
that
the-
one.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll
the
keep that one.
difficulty is nothing in the agreement that requires monthly financial statements, and every time I've gotten something, I've provided it to you.
When is that agreement up?
I don't recall off the top of my head, I'd say 2 years from now. because it was a 5-year agreement, and I think there's 2 years left.
Council Chair?
Okay, Councilman Abdullah?
So on that one, I mean, even if we didn't get, Mr. Mayor, I prefer a financial update. I think it would definitely be in our best interest. But at the very minimal, if we had him maybe stop by here once a month, either him or a representative of his, and tell us
Give us an update.
what is going on with that golf course. Because I'm going to tell you, for me, I love the purchase. I think it was a great purchase. But I'm somewhat disappointed with us as a city as far as what we've done to promote it and to take it to the next level. I think we purchased it, which is great, but everything I see, I mean, other than what do they call those simulators?
Simulators.
I don't golf, so some golf stuff I don't know. But other than that, it's pretty much overall somewhat the same as it was before. And if that's the case, it wasn't profitable before for the county. It's probably not going to be that profitable for us. And when I looked at the numbers off the top of my head, I recall, I don't know if we can say it publicly here, I'll just say it was a very minimal amount. I was very surprised for 254 acres, the amount of money that's left over after all expenses was almost laughable, honestly.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then we as a city, and I know we just took it over, but we're doing something wrong here to not take it to the next level. We need to have some sort of focus, some sort of vision, somebody to take charge and say, let's take this thing to the next level, whether it's from within administration or whether it's the gentleman, is it Eric, I think his name is?
Eric, yes.
That's running it. But I do recall one of the reasons he's got his brakes on is we haven't really given him the full, releasing the reins for him to do what needs to be done.
No, I wanted a more aggressive, that was why I wanted an outside consultant who knows how to run golf courses and have them recommend to us a plan, and then we'd follow the plan. What we're doing is, in light of the fact that nobody wanted to go that particular route, is we're working with Eric. Eric believes that he knows, but my vision is beyond what he is accomplishing there.
But with due respect, at the time though, there was two speakers that were brought in. I'll just leave it at the logistics that day between us as a council and the administration. The logistics were not good. There was, I think, too many surprises for both sides. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We're not going to go into that discussion. But I think I'll speak on my behalf as a councilman. I'm definitely open-minded to getting some sort of an advisor that all of us as administration and as a council would agree on. I mean, there was a younger gentleman. He sounded pretty good. The other gentleman sounded pretty good. But I don't think we were all, as a body, totally sold on either one of them, to be honest with you, in my opinion. But I think that it's a good idea.
All right, let's move on,
keep
because we're
that
not
up
going to
there.
get through this by 7. Our next one is Swapka Park Flag, the retention basin update. That was from September 2019.
The Swapka Park flag on the
Flagpole.
And the cell tower.
yeah, the cell tower, I think it's been replaced.
Has it?
And somebody keep after that, and then the retention basin, that's a separate thing.
Council Chair?
Councilman Wenzel?
We should have a study session on this, because I had a couple of residents, I was at the Dad's Club meeting, and they had some people speaking up about the flag. Also, they want some information on the playground. I told them we were having a study session on that, so I think we should combine the flagpole and the playground into a study session.
Okay, so we need to address this in a study session. Okay, I will do that. Next, we have the FEMA grant, what was submitted to state and what the residents were paid.
I think we should keep that one, Madam Chair. We have 2 grants. One is still questionable.
Okay, we'll keep that for a study session also.
Council Chair?
Councilman Wenzel?
Officially, on the previous one, we had the retention basin in that study
Yeah, it's
session
in
also?
here.
Okay.
Yeah, I got them both. I'm keeping them both.
Okay,
3 now.
yeah, 3.
You got Swapka, playground, and retention.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Thanks.
Next, we have, from November of 2019, we have pension.
What's that all about? Is that the,
That might have been the member, Lisa presented the legal opinion. I'm not sure.
or is that the OPEB part? No, that was just last November.
That's something that Councilwoman Lisa
Yeah.
claimed brought that up, so I would keep that for now.
Okay, we'll keep that. And we have GFL, I think we addressed that at the last meeting, so we can cross that one off. Bid process, and that would be Director Salmi.
I think we should keep that. We haven't seen a bid process, Madam Chair.
Okay, got it. All right. Next, we have used car lot moratorium on the Van Born corridor.
That's what we passed.
We passed that moratorium.
Yeah.
So this is off for here. I'm just reading it. I didn't
Sure.
think about what I was saying. Okay. Next, we have WDHT.
That's something that we've got to get that
Keep that
done.
one.
Okay, and then we have legal opinion on H-16-06. Does anybody recall what that is?
No, I
The one I
don't.
think Lisa sent to the Attorney General,
Okay.
I
Okay.
believe.
Keep that.
Okay, and then we have cell towers, the 5G.
We need to bring that back. I'll tell you what, because I believe, and I said this once before, when that was voted down, I don't think everybody was aware what they were voting down. They were voting down our ability to control them.
Okay,
had
we'll
the
bring that
attorney
back in a
here.
study session then. Let's move
I
on.
believe you misunderstood that.
No, it's not, I think we're not misunderstanding it. These 5G antennas, we hardly have any control where they go, very little. The big towers, that's where we have control over.
No, the ordinance we were going to pass.
On
and-
everything.
Okay, at this
Because it
point, let's
mentioned
take it to a
5G.
study
Yeah,
session and
well,
not debate
yeah.
it here.
Yeah.
We'll debate it in a study
But you need to
session
do
to
it
save time
quick,
tonight.
because
Right.
I've watched these people, they're already now going in our residential
They are,
areas,
yep.
and I have no power to tell them no.
Okay.
And I don't
let's-
want them in front of my house.
Let's bring that to a
either.
study
more
session
local
real soon
control.
then. That'll be our first priority. Our next and last one is our treasurer appointment.
Obviously, we got to keep that
That will
one,
be
Madam
coming
Chair.
up.
And that should be second priority.
I'm going to put a study session next Tuesday in regards to that. So that will be next Tuesday's study session.
Council Chair?
Councilman Wenzel?
The WDHT, I think we should act on that. I'd like to have you, like, maybe appoint a little subcommittee to get the ball rolling a little bit and report to the council, and I'd like to be a part of that, maybe two or three of us.
Can we do that?
We can look into a couple things. That way, because I've got a couple of things, and I know some others do, you know,
Yeah, we can do that if you want. Let's put that into a study session and discuss it there then.
okay.
At this time, we're going to have a study session next Tuesday in regards to the treasurer's appointment, and I'm thinking that we should do the 5G right away. I don't know if we'll have time to do that next Tuesday. Do you think we will?
I don't see why not. I
We
mean,
have to get
don't
the
have a-
lawyers back.
We don't have a council meeting, but if we can get the attorney back here that did the, Mark Roberts back, I think we can settle this issue real quick.
It was someone from
We do
his
that,
office.
Mayor?
It was from Seacrest
Well,
Water.
I gotta call them, I don't know if they're.
Okay, well-
If it's possible, we can.
Let's tentatively schedule it for next Tuesday, and I'll wait for the mayor to get back with me and let me know for sure. But we will have the treasurer appointment next Tuesday with the possibility of the cell towers, the 5G study session. At this point, I guess this concludes our end of it. Is there any, I know, let me get to it, please. That concludes the city council's discussion on this. Now I'm going to open it up to public comment. No public comment, study session is done, take a 5-minute recess.